Good day everyone, magandang buhay. I am Jelay and Aliman, and today I'm going to discuss about the moral principle involving our actions and those factors that affect and lessen accountability. Every day, we pass judgment on the morality of human actions. If I steal from rich and feed to the poor, is that good or is it bad? If I drive over the speed limit to get my sick child to the hospital, is it good or is it bad? What is good and what is bad? What is morality? And do you, as a person, have morals? Morality is what society treats you as right and acceptable. They are the standard of thoughts, behavior, and actions. In moral principles of actions, we do an act which entails bad as well as good consequences. Under the two conditions, the first condition requires that the act be good in itself. The reason for this is that if the act is bad, then we would be doing evil that good may come from it. So for example, stealing. Stealing is a crime. However, a lot of people would consider stealing a piece of bread to save the homeless person from dying of hunger moral. The second condition of principle, the end does not justify the means. The reason behind this principle is that the morality of an act primarily depends on the nature of the act itself and not on the intention of agent nor the consequence of the act. For example, driving over the speed limit is a crime, but when it could help to save the life of the child in the backseat of your car, it becomes the most noble of action. Now, what are the factors that lessen accountability? Since responsibility depends on the voluntariness present in an act, we must inquire into the factors which affect and lessen accountability in our actions. And these are ignorance, concupiscence, fear, and violence. So what is this ignorance? So when we say ignorance, it is the absence of intellectual knowledge. It can be distinguished between vincible and invincible ignorance. So what is vincible? When we say vincible ignorance, it can be dispelled or overcome by the due amount of diligence. For example, a Negrito who had been living all his life in the mountains and who happened to come to Manila for the first time and violated traffic laws could not be held responsible for violating the law. Then, when we say invincible ignorance, it cannot be overcome by any amount of diligence or effect because under the circumstances, it is impossible for one to know. For example, a Manila resident who violated traffic laws not knowing of such laws before would still be responsible for his act because his ignorance is vincible. So the reason behind these two principles is that when one is invincibly ignorant, the act he does then would be without knowledge, and without knowledge, there can be no voluntariness and therefore no responsibilities. In the case of vincible ignorance, however, there is still culpability with regard to one's ignorance, which is due to one's negligence or omission. There would still be accountability on the part of the doer of his action. Lastly is the antecedent concupiscence. It lessens but does not remove voluntariness and responsibility. Antecedent concupiscence is neither lessens nor destroy responsibility. So that would be all. Hope you have learned a lot about the moral principles involving our actions and those factors that lessens our accountability. Again, I am Jella and Aliman. Good day and have a nice day.